Today's lesson, how to color in this cartoon watermelon. The first thing you'll need to do is to create your cartoon watermelon. I made a video previously to show you the step-by-step techniques how you can do this. After you complete it doing your pencil, the next step would be to ink it in. Since I'm working off the computer, I filled all the flat colors in first. But if you were doing this traditionally, you would be able to color this in with your color pencils, watercolors, or markers. Alright, so let's begin the lesson on showing you how I colored in this little watermelon. Just by the way, a little tip, this is actually speed videoing right now. This is like 4 times the speed that I normally would do it. As you can see, I'm using Photoshop and I created a little watercolor brush. And what I'm doing currently right now is I had these little flat colors that I like to highlight to kind of like mask out that I have protected. So I can airbrush or use my watercolor brush in those areas without affecting any of the other areas. So as you can see right now, I'm coloring in the red part of the melon. And when I'm doing that, I'm not getting affected by the lighter green and that darker green on the outside because I have this little mask, once again, I created. And that's a technique that I learned from my airbrushing days when I was growing up. We always had to use what we call frisket. So I'm just using that same technique right now. And what you can see me here, what I'll be doing is taking some highlights and some shadowing throughout the elements and just building upon that and just accenting back and forth. And this is something that I just learned again from my traditional days as airbrushing. So I go back and forth and I kind of like highlight, and this is good. This is a very simple one. I'm not going overboard with it, but you can do this with your colored pencils when you're coloring in there, or if you're with your watercolors the same way. So you build up a standard color and then you add a little darker color to your paint and pull it through for watercolor. And then with your color pencils, you can do the same way with doing a traditional tone and then add a little darker color by your pressure, or even changing the color and building up on that. So I'm working on the little seeds right now. As you can see there, is I had a middle color, mid-tone, and then I had to shade it on there. Now I'm coming back with a lighter one and adding a little color. That's giving that three-dimensional look to that. So that's that building. Now just even more when I added this another highlight color on there. I went with a little lighter. So that kind of gives you that little shine. Now watch when I do this little technique with the eyeballs. Alright, so the first thing I'm just going to do is just color in a little blue area. Now I'm going to be taking a little darker and just coloring a little inside there. Alright, and now I'm just going to be making the brush really skinny and getting a little white, a little highlight. No, let's get that a little whiter and a little bit smaller. There we go. Alright, good. That's looking good. And now I'm just going to add these little highlights in there to give like a nice little shine, give that little glossy look to it, a little polish. There you go. Something simple. It kind of gives that little popping out right now, as you can see there. Now what I normally do in a lot of my other pictures, I add these little spots here and there, and I'm just going to be adding these little spots in the red part of the watermelon. And there we go with that. And I think I'm going to add some little highlights actually on the seeds too, a little bit on the top there, like a little shine. There we go. And I think that's it. Hey, it's John-Marc, and thanks for checking out this video lesson, and I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day.